Currently, with the exception of the renovation of the Speaker's block, all the external and interior works of the Job 600 Annex, the Chamber Support Services block, the drivers and visitors waiting centers, including furnishings, have been duly completed. The Job 600 Annex is a 6-story building with 54 offices for members of parliament, 9 offices on each floor, with ancillary offices for research assistants and offices of the parliamentary service. It has a multi-purpose 150-seater conference hall with a media room, 2 convenience shops, 9 kitchenettes, 9 washrooms, and a space for a forest bureau. The basement of the Job 600 Annex is earmarked to serve as archives. The Chamber Support Services block also has 26 offices for staff of the service, 2 meeting rooms, 3 kitchenettes, 4 washrooms, 3 big storage rooms, an electrical panel room that will serve the chamber, the speaker's block, the administration block, the Chamber Support Services block, and the drivers and visitors waiting centers, amongst others. The drivers waiting center is made up of an office, a reception area, a 100-seater area, now reduced to 60-seater area, no thanks to the COVID-19, for drivers, a snack bar, eating area, and washrooms. The visitors waiting center also has an office, a reception area, a 250-seater waiting area, a snack bar, eating area, and washrooms. Indeed, the Parliamentary Standards Committee standards continue to evolve in response to pressures from both within and outside Parliament. If Parliament is to attract the best brains, then it should be provided with the requisite tools to discharge its duties. It is therefore heartwarming to note that all the members of Parliament in the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic would have officers to aid in the discharge of their constitutional mandate. It is only when members of Parliament are adequately resourced to perform their respective roles that our democracy will thrive. Whilst we are this, Mr. President, it is important to express our gratitude to you for your acknowledgement that Parliament is the only arm of government which does not own the presence of its offices. Mr. President, you have shown appreciation of the distress that Parliament finds itself in this regard and have expressed the wish for Parliament to have title to the presence of Parliament since our overexposure at occasions including funerals, weddings, and other social activities could, if we are not careful, be very catastrophic. It is our plea that the President calls us the relevant immediate steps to be taken to bring the matter about ownership to the speediest conclusion. Mr. President, another issue of monumental importance is the matter in respect of the swearing in of presidents-elect. Members of Parliament are united in the principle that an elected president must be sworn in the presence of Parliament, before Parliament, and indeed in Parliament, as the Honorable J.H. Mensah boldly articulated. The Ghanaian electorate always want to be part of, and indeed own, the process and procedures of the swearing in of our presidents-elect. The space afforded by the small chamber of Parliament makes it difficult to hold the event in the plenary of Parliament, which is why, conveniently, Parliament elects to sit at Independence Square on such occasions. On that 7th day of January, the election of the Speaker and Deputy Speakers and the swearing in of members of Parliament have to be concluded before Parliament would relocate to the Independence Square to have the President-elect sworn in before the relocated House of Parliament. It is hard to relate that oftentimes, before the sitting is suspended for the House to reconvene at the Independence Square, the public would have generally taken over the sitting of the relocated Parliament. In the event, Parliament, the members are dislodged from what is supposed to be their own house. The members of Parliament, especially those from the party that might have lost the elections, are subjected to vile and vitriolic language in their own house. And Mr. President, sometimes all manner of animals, some of them dressed in party paraphernalia, are paraded in the relocated parliament. Not surprisingly, most of the members of parliament who belong to the party that lose out in the presidential and general elections elect not to be part or participate in the proceedings that lead to the swearing in of the president. Mr. President, as you agree with us, that cannot be good practice. It is not good practice, and accordingly, the House has decided that the president-elect must from hence, subject to security considerations, be sworn in the presence of Parliament, before Parliament, and in Parliament. Consequently, Mr. President, the Parliament of Ghana is proposing that the swearing in of the president-elect should be done in the present presence of Parliament, as happened during the first inauguration of President John Agyekum Kufuor. Mr. President, this is our humble request, and once it meets your agreement, the necessary triggers shall be pulled to get the place ready for the event on January 7th, 2021. Mr. President, while showing huge appreciation for causing the finance minister to avail funds for these projects that you are commissioning today, we want to acknowledge the extension of security services to members of Parliament who are the most.
Honorable Hakman Usojiman, a member of the Parliamentary Service Board, First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable Majority Leader, Sumpahini Oseichi Mensabus, Doctor, Honorable Minority Leader Alhaji Haruna Idisu, Leadership of the House, Honorable Members of Parliament, the Clerk to Parliament, Mr. Cyril K.O. Nsia, Management and Staff of the Parliamentary Service, Parliament Choir, friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, including the police band who have kept us in good shape this afternoon. I'm exceptionally delighted to be part of today's commissioning of Parliament's House Fiscal Infrastructure Enhancement Project. The completion of this project marks a significant stride in the development of our democracy. Mr. President, as you are well aware, since the inception of the Fourth Republican Parliament until recently, members of Parliament had to contend with lack of office accommodation to conduct parliamentary business. The provision of these offices and auxiliary facilities is certainly imperative to empower the institution of Parliament to adeptly and efficiently discharge its constitutional mandate. Mr. President, the Parliament House Fiscal Infrastructure Enhancement Project, which was executed by the Government of Ghana for Parliament, comprises Job 600 Annex, Chamber Support Services Block, Visitors Waiting Center, and Drivers Waiting Center. The Job 600 Annex is a 6-story building with all the relevant particulars, some of which you have heard about this evening already. The Chamber Service Block is also to give us relevant auxiliary services. The Drivers Waiting Center really intrigues me as a place where our drivers can have a good rest whilst waiting to go on various assignments. It is most important that a driver must be well rested before being sent on assignments. This includes washrooms, In the year 2015, Parliament had 185 million cedis. 2016, 255 million. 2017, 308 million. That was the beginning, say, of your term. 218, 406 million. 219, 360 million. This came down because the project conceptualized as the chamber could not come on. 2020, 400 million. And in fact, projected further for 2021, 440 million. From the allocation, 250 million, 865,717 Ghana cedis in 2016. Parliament has now moved to 400 million, 705,586 Ghana cedis. This is an upper drive due to your tenure of 36%. From your initial efforts to the present stage you have reached, you have continuously upped us up to 36%. We wish you well and trust that in future we will benefit progressively in the same direction. Mr. President, in discharging its enormous but critical functions of accountability and transparency, the institution of Parliament will forever remember the supportive role of President Akufo-Addo for staying committed to ensuring that Parliament remains the citadel of our democracy, even in the face of COVID-19 challenges and other surmounting pressures on government to cut down expenditure. For that matter, we are also appreciative of all the support given to us under COVID-19. On behalf of the leadership of the House and the Parliamentary Service Board, I wish to register our unqualified appreciation to the Executive for the consistent support to Parliament. This remarkable feat will go a long way to strengthen development and good governance in Ghana. To the consultants ADK, to the builders China State, to my indefatigable Mr. Kodo, Director of Development, whom I call at all times and insist various things are done. We are grateful for your hard work and dedication to bring this project to fruition. The Parliamentary Service Board, management, and staff of the service, I say Ayeko, and God bless us all. Thank you very much.
As we prepare to receive the President, we'll take a cultural performance. To receive His Excellency, the President of the Republic.
Mr. Speaker, First Deputy Speaker, Majority Leader and Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Minority Leader, Majority and Minority Chief Whips, Members of Parliament, members of the Parliamentary Service Board, Clerk of Parliament and staff of the Parliamentary Service, members of the Diplomatic Corps, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. It is always good to be back in Parliament, a place where I spent some 12 memorable and enjoyable years as a member, representing a Buakwa constituency on 2 successive occasions and a Buakwa South constituency on the 3rd. As President, as the Minority Leader pointed out, my visits to Parliament over the last 4 years have been to deliver messages on the state of the nation. I'm here today indeed for the 5th time for another important reason, and that is to inaugurate the physical infrastructure enhancement project of Parliament. This project, which incorporates the newly constructed Job 600 Annex building, the Chamber Support Services block, the Drivers Waiting Center, and the Visitors Waiting Center, forms part of measures aimed at addressing comprehensively the gaps in infrastructure faced by Parliament over the years. I applaud the Right Honourable Speaker, the leadership of Parliament, and the Parliamentary Service Board for ensuring that these projects, including the imposing edifice beyond me, which had its sword-cutting ceremony on 22nd April 2018, were completed within schedule. I commend Messrs. ADK Consortium, consultants for the project, and Messrs. China State Hualong Construction Limited, the contractors, for the diligence applied in making sure that the project was completed on time. It is a proud moment for me to be able to state that the entire project has been funded solely from Government of Ghana budgetary sources. Mr. Speaker, if we are to be successful in deepening our democracy, we must have a true separation of powers between the various arms of government. My view of this is well known. Our Parliament, the legislative arm of government, must grow into its proper role as an effective machinery for accountability and oversight of the executive and not be its junior partner. This requires that we adequately resource Parliament with the requisite infrastructure and logistics to help it function effectively. That is why the government of Nana Akufo-Addo, since its assumption of office on 7th January 2017, has increased cumulatively the budgetary allocation to the House by 56.6% and has committed itself to supporting the Parliamentary Service Board to initiate and implement various projects necessary for the efficient work of the legislature. Indeed, after the refurbishment in 2015 of the State House Tower block, popularly referred to as Job 600 building, not all members of Parliament could be accommodated in the building. To remedy the situation for the unlucky MPs and also to meet other infrastructural needs of the House, government took upon the challenge to provide the requisite finances to support Parliament in undertaking the physical infrastructure enhancement project. You can therefore understand my delight at being here today to inaugurate these important office facilities, which will provide MPs and staff of the Parliamentary Service with adequate, well-equipped workspaces to enable them to perform their functions in a conducive environment. Because, Mr. Speaker, lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic re-echoed the need to provide spacious working environments for all key institutions, particularly the legislature, to reduce congestion and curtail the possible spread of communicable and infectious diseases. As we all know, the work of Parliament invariably entails daily sittings of the House, in plenary and in committees, as well as engagement with various stakeholders, which effectively occasion close human interactions. It is gratifying to note that at the very early stages of the pandemic, Parliament responded swiftly by adopting a COVID-19 preventive strategy to limit the possible spread of virus amongst its members and staff. This strategy, which involved decongesting the premises, employing the use of virtual platforms to conduct the work of the House, and a significant portion of the staff working from home, enabled the leadership of the House to minimize the spread of the virus, which contributed to its favorable evolution in Ghana. I say a big aiko to all of you. It has always been said that one of our major challenges is our poor maintenance culture. The deterioration of infrastructure, largely as a result of our inability, deliberate or otherwise, to maintain them, continues to be a serious drain on scarce resources. It is of the utmost necessity that we cultivated a solid culture of maintenance. I therefore urge the Parliamentary Service Board to put in place the requisite mechanisms, including the necessary facility management arrangements, to ensure the regular maintenance of these newly constructed buildings, as well as all existing offices. Mr. Speaker, in concluding, let me reassure you of the commitment of government to working with you and members of the House for the peace, progress, and prosperity of Mother Ghana. All of us have a joint responsibility to work together with our different views and our different perspectives for the Ghana project, a united Ghana governed according to the rule of law, respect for individual liberties, human rights, and the principles of democratic accountability. A Ghana that meets fundamental requirements of social justice and solidarity. We should all work to free ourselves from a mindset of dependence, aid, charity, and handouts, and rather concentrate on mobilizing Ghana's own considerable resources to resolve Ghana's problems. It is a collective enterprise to which we should all commit ourselves in unity and in sincerity. For my part, I have an unshakable faith in the boundless prospects of Ghana's future and will work for it, the radiance of the Black Star. Before I sit down, let me assure both the majority and minority leaders, particularly the minority leader, that in my next term, my second, the issue of title and the designation of the parliamentary enclave will be settled. Furthermore, the swearing-in procedures to which the majority leader alluded in his speech will, subject to the relevant considerations of security, fitness, the letter and constitution, and the letter and spirit of the Constitution of the Republic, will be duly considered as soon as possible after 7th December. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to declare the Physical Infrastructure Enhancement Project of Parliament duly inaugurated. May God bless Parliament and us all, and may God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have 5 quick things to do, the last which will be your tour of the Job 600 Annex. But before then, you will unveil the plate right after the national anthem. Right now, though, I want to invite the Honorable Ursula Owusu-Ekufo, Minister for Communications, a Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West, to join us with a vote of thanks.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable Majority Leader, the Honorable Minority Leader, Honorable First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Leadership of Parliament, Ministers of State, Honorable Members of Parliament, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, directors and staff of the Parliamentary Service, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored and delighted to offer the vote of thanks at this auspicious event, which marks the inauguration of Parliament's Physical Infrastructure Enhancement Project. From working
The COVID protocols, His Excellency the President, the Speaker of Parliament, and the leadership up on the days will be the only ones, in addition to all persons who have been issued this accreditation tag, they will be the only persons who will tour the Job 600 Annex edifice. Would ask you all to remain. It will be a very brief tour. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, the leaders and guests who have been issued the accreditation tag will be the only ones who would tour the Job 600 Annex after His Excellency the President has unveiled the plaque for us. While the tour goes on, we would ask members and guests to please remain under the days. It will be a very brief tour, during which period the police band will play on the sidelines.
members and staff of Parliament was unveiled by His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, and the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Professor Aaron Michael Quinn, on Tuesday, the 3rd of November, 2020.
But this one is on the same day. So we go through the support service. These offices too.
Yeah, these are other additional offices.
Just like you are saying for members of Parliament.
With washrooms and kitchenettes for the floor.
So now we have to go down, right?
You have to use the lift to go down.
Let's go first.